Hey everyone, it's Justin again with Voices for Voices. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of our TV show and podcast. Whether you're watching, whether you're listening, whether you're here in the United States, or you are in one of the 90 countries, 900 cities across the world, we're grateful to have you with us. And we have another impactful show for you, whether you're watching or listening. And again, if you can give us a big thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, all those things are free, and those help us get closer and closer to reaching our overarching goal of helping 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. So I'd like to introduce our guest today. She's making uh, uh, one of many appearances that she's made in the past a few weeks. You may recognize her from potentially a court TV with Venue Politan and others. And we're going to be talking about some obviously sensitive topics and subjects. So if you have any small children around, it would be a good time to maybe have them not be around watching it and listening. So I want to introduce Tya Adams to our viewers and our listeners. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Sorry, my voice is a little scratchy today. The weather's been a little shifty, so I have a touch of laryngitis. But it's nice to be here. I love the purple shirt.
I didn't even plan it this morning. It was I was debating on because sometimes I'll just wear black for the
Love
branding,
it.
and yeah, it ended up working out pretty good,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
Thank you. Uh,
It's nice to meet you.
Thank you. I'll just give a little bit of a little background to our viewers and listeners, and then we'll jump right in and feel free to again share as much or as little as you want on the particular topics. We're not looking at any gotcha questions or anything like that. It's just who you are, experiences that you've been through, and may be
Well,
something that somebody else unfortunately may be going through. So this uh, actually I'm a
there's
little bit,
strength in numbers.
there absolutely is.
Yes,
And
the more
it,
voices that come together, the better chance we have at true healing and making real change.
uh,
So I
uh,
appreciate the opportunity to get it out there even further and put the call out that if there's anybody else, we're doing something similar with our YouTube channel.
oh,
We're hearing the stories of other survivors and victims here. I don't know how familiar you are with the cases, but um, I've been exposing the corruption in my county, Letcher County, Kentucky, and speaking out against the judges and lawyers in the jail there. And the grooming and sexual abuse that I endured at that court system's hands by those leaders. Um, so we are trying to make a difference because there's a lot of people who have been affected by this, and the whole thing with the it's prison for profit, drugs for profit, sex for profit, all to profit them, you know. So at the hands of our lives, at the sacrifices of our lives, they take everything from us
right.
in
You
order to keep themselves on their pedestals. So, yeah, we're here to start to dismantle that and, sow seeds of new ideas, new ways of doing things, and hopefully build a better, stronger community.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And I think it's a big issue, and I think it's hard when something's going on that is consider I don't I guess I'll use the word taboo to some people. They don't want to think about like, well, that's not happening here where I live, or that's happening, somewhere else. That's not happening in my community. And
Yeah.
for a relatively uh smaller community for this to have occurred.
Well, the
And
thing is it's not a secret here. Everybody knows and is aware to some extent of what has been going on. And whenever I say there are hundreds of victims, that's not an exaggeration. Our entire community has been affected by these men in power. Um, they use the justice system to retaliate, and they hand out big, heavy, long sentences. They railroad people. People are convicted of crimes that they didn't even commit, um, all in the name of, keeping their numbers up or keeping their thumbs on us, keeping tabs on us, keeping us on parole for life, so that they can keep tabs and make sure we stay quiet. But people have started disappearing. We have a lot of missing persons.
oh,
There's a lot of unsolved murders. And there have been some witnesses that spoke out against this judge before the sheriff ended up shooting this judge, um, that were killed.
oh,
So our families are facing some serious retaliation from the police, from the Kentucky State Police. We're going through it. It's been really intense. My daughter, um, she got arrested a few days ago,
mm,
and four carloads pulled in around her and her little husband at the park. They're young, they're 22 years old. They was out at the park, had been door dashing and stuff all day.
mm,
So she had lost her wedding ring. She was out there looking for it. And four carloads pulled in, took them to jail. They made him take off his glasses and do a sobriety test, and then refused to give her a sobriety test. And I told him whenever she got to the jail, she called
mm,
and said, put the cop on the phone. He said that I was lucky that he didn't charge them both with DUI. He didn't
mm,
have to give them a sobriety test, and he didn't have to give them a drug test. And
mm,
whenever we got her out, the look in her eyes whenever she looked at me and said, "Mommy, I didn't think I was going to come out of there alive. I thought they were going to kill me."
oh,
I
wow.
mean, that makes you, it takes your breath away, to say the very least. Talk about your stomach hitting your feet.
Mm,
And what do? There's like no control over this situation whatsoever. I was 4 hours away. I mean, it wouldn't have done any good if I could have got there anyway,
mm,
you know, like they are in control, they are in power. And our local jail is inhumane to say the least.
mm,
Um, we've spoke about that quite a bit on my channel, um, about the conditions, lack of medical care. They don't even have a stove right now. Um, there's people piled up on mats on the floor. Most mats don't even have stuffing in them. They're stuffed with clothes and cardboard. The conditions are appalling.
oh,
I almost died from a severe infection because let me see if I can prop my phone up and show you this big scar I've got on my arm. Whenever I went
okay.
in, I had this big cut on my arm.
Oh my
It went
gosh.
all the way around. And they took me to the hospital. The hospital said that I needed emergency surgery.
Mm,
And they said, no, wrap it up. We're taking her back to jail. And I went septic and almost died in there. My whole arm had red streaks. It was red streaks at my face, burning fever. It's terrible. The mold, the disease,
mm,
the walls just leak. There's no air. There's no heat. It's misery. It's like a third world country. It's not like any other jail I've ever been to. Like I've been to other jails,
mm,
and they follow rules, and you have a mat and a blanket and you have what you need at least, and a balanced diet, but not at Letcher County. So we're looking to change that too. We hope that our voices will make an impact and get the community in action to elect in people who know what they're doing that can make the changes that are needed.
And that's a huge part of what we're trying to do too, is to put a big spotlight and give you a megaphone to share what you're sharing. That we're all human, and we all have things we've done in the past that it doesn't make us happy with some of
Right.
the things. And but once we get past that of kind of like you said, going through the parole, for the rest of your life, and like things that are just we had attorney Ned Pillersdorf on, and he was saying he's like it's just read out of a novel, that like
Yeah.
how does this even compute to like the average person, and it doesn't, and that is uh it's amazing that you're doing what you're doing, because it
Somebody's got to.
somebody's got
Somebody's got to,
to.
or they're going to kill us all. And that's all there is to it. They're coming for us. They're either going to lock us away for long prison sentences or keep continuing to come for us to make us pay out of pocket, or they're coming for our kids. And so if we don't speak, if we don't get attention and don't get the help that we're asking for, then what quality of life can we ever have? As long
So
as we're living in fear and looking over our shoulders.
yeah, so what made you want to step forward? Because you mentioned that people are disappearing, and
Well,
things are going on.
whenever that that all happened with the sheriff, and whenever he shot the judge, like my first thought was somebody has to look and see what's going on now. They can't look away anymore, because a lot of these victims have went like to the attorney general and to the Commonwealth attorney, to these various places to report these things and to report the human trafficking that's going on here,
Yeah,
and they're blown off or ignored or gaslit. Like, if you listen back to some of the depositions in the Ben Fields case,
hmm,
Ben Fields was a deputy jailer, deputy court officer who was over the house arrest, and he was raping women using coercive control to rape women under threat of jail. And some he did send back to jail, and he would trade off their fees and stuff for it. But the thing is they've scapegoated Ben as if he's the only one,
yeah,
and he's not. And how long are we going to go on and let it continue? Are we going to just let them come for our kids and enslave them next? I'm
no,
not okay with that. I have 4 daughters. I am not okay with that.
right, and
You
and
know,
that's
they
it's
started grooming me at 16.
oh, okay,
So,
so that's a long history.
yes,
Oh, wow.
yes, that
Yeah,
was Judge Mullins himself.
and it was Judge Mullins. Okay,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it yeah, it just
And then they destroyed our lives. They used family court to take our children. Um, they use their rehab and drug court programs actually keep people addicted. They don't help people get off drugs. They keep you addicted so that you stay dependent on the legal system and you stay in there. Most of the criminal cases right now in this region are women with drug charges. And you got to ask, why is there such a disproportion there?
yeah, that's uh, yeah, it's
It's a
not a
big
coincidence.
difference. It's
Yeah.
not a coincidence. Yeah. And then whenever you factor in that judges using coercive control for you can either go to jail or do this favor for me and get rehab. And then you've got the rehab ARC, which is also under a federal investigation for Medicaid fraud and all sorts of things. You've got this guy, Michael Clark, the preacher man, demanding sex and pictures for a bed in rehab. Sometimes he don't even deliver it on the bed. Like, there's been women that got their kids taken care of and stuff. He's promised them a bed. They travel 4 hours to and go to this rehab that he promises them, and they've never heard of her. So it's just creating more and more barriers. And but what I was saying about the depositions with the Ben Fields
Yes,
case,
yes.
the Attorney General detective, Matt Easter, that conducted those interviews and that interviewed the other victims and stuff, he is absolutely disgusting. Gaslighting, implying that it's a consensual relationship. And like, we need to be clear, there is no such thing as consent when it's a police officer, a judge, a lawyer, a doctor, someone in any position of authority over you in your life. There is no consent.
Mm-mm.
And especially not in jails and prisons. There is federal laws protecting inmates called PREA, the Prison Rape and Elimination Act. And I got to digging, and there's not been a single PREA report since 2013 from our jail. And I know for a fact of multiple brutal rapes that were reported and like the police had to show up for.
Oh,
And none of it's ever been reported. You've got guards taking inmates into the shower rooms or into like the hallway. There's an old stairwell behind a locked door. They're taking inmates in there to the stairwell to have sex with them. You've got them putting them in the shower together, males and female inmates, so that they can have sex. And it's just it's disgusting. And nothing ever gets reported to the feds. Nothing ever gets out of here. It's like they think that nobody can see them. So people see them now, you know.
yeah. What's the name of your
And
YouTube channel, by the way, before we
Apple Dream, as in
okay.
Appalachia, Apple
Uh,
Dream, Appalachian
okay.
Dreamers. Yeah.
Yeah. As well, yeah, I want to make sure to share that with our viewers and listeners to check that out, and we'll definitely be doing that
Yeah.
ourselves
And
because it
I share like healing content and spiritual stuff on Facebook too. If anybody wants to jump over there, give us a follow. Might find some value in that.
yeah. So are you still in you're still in the system in the
Mhm.
parole? Like how does that were you able to get
I
things changed?
I got into a fight in jail, got
Oh,
charged with kidnapping, and they told me I had 7.5 years, but I got to prison, found out I had 12.5 years.
okay.
Did my prison time, made parole, and did my parole, did all my classes and everything, went to
Hmm.
graduate, get my gold seal of completion, and they
Hmm.
told me they wouldn't release me, and they've got me on parole until 2099 and holding me on child support that I've never missed a payment on, and the child is 22. So
And that's real. That's
it's
20
just for control. That's
2099. Oh
all.
my gosh.
Yeah, it's just for control because they think that if they can threaten me with jail, then I'll stay quiet.
Wow. Yeah. And I'd invite anybody who is in the same situation as
Yes,
Taya.
please reach out to us.
Pl
We
Please
are
reach out. Yeah.
collecting as many as we can. Yeah, to come together. As I said, there's strength in numbers, empowerment together.
Yeah,
We're not
sure
helpless
is. And I
anymore, and people are paying attention. So it's time. It's time to speak up with your stories. Like now's the time. Yeah.
yeah, and we're doing a lot. We've done a lot recently with human trafficking,
Mm.
child labor, and it's just we're finding the same problem where people don't they want to turn away, they want to pretend like it's not
Mhm.
happening. And when it's brought up and it's to your point, a lot of times it's leaders, people in authority positions, and people are like, no, it can't be them. Like, no, they're
And they use
my
CPS
judge, they're
to
my
remove their
coach.
children and give them to our abusers in
Yeah,
many instances. You know, like CPS is one of the greatest human trafficking networks in the country. Don't
that's right.
make a mistake about it. They make the most profit
Oh,
by stealing our children.
oh my gosh. And I believe it was one of I think it was Secretary Kennedy who was talking, I think it was about Child Protective Services as well as another government entity that, like you mentioned, is the it's like the ringleaders of the trafficking that just over the years
Yeah,
that's just business as usual to them. But
it's as
there's
usual.
actual
Yeah,
victims,
right. That's our point is that we are real people. We have lives, we have children, we just want to move on with our lives. We want to
yeah,
be free of this place so that we can move on with our lives, you know?
yeah. You want to
This is a
live,
very poor
right?
area. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a very poor area, which it's doing better, of late, I think. But the addiction is rampant. And now there are so many dangerous drugs and stuff out there too. It's scary. Um, they were trying to bring Ibogaine to Kentucky and they denied it. They said, no, they don't want us to heal. They want us to be addicted. They want us to be slaves.
Oh no. Oh, that's awful because you're not just you, but me myself. Like we look to authority figures to want to help us, like
Right.
truly help
For
us,
the solutions, but they
and
don't want to help us. They
they don't
want to
want to
keep
help.
us in their schemes, in their Yeah, and their prisons for profit, programming for profit.
Mm.
This shit
Did
ain't
you,
benefiting nobody but them,
but
you know?
then, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have any contact with Sheriff Steins or Judge Mullins yourself? Or
Not sure. Well, I mean, over the years, he's arrested me a time or two, I think, and he used to
okay.
take us up to court and stuff whenever he was the bailiff. Um, I know him, but Kevin Mullins, I have a long history with. As I said, that started whenever I was
That's
16,
16. That's
and
okay.
yeah, and he quickly showed me where my value lied with him. I went to learn to take a deposition and ended up giving him a blowjob,
Oh my.
and he groomed me from then and taught me that that's where my worth was, and started pimping me out to his friends and taking me, places and paying people to have sex with me, things like that. Um, and that continued until I was about 20 when my mom died.
Mm,
And then I went to rehab and jail, and then I got, straightened up for a while. And then I started getting in trouble again whenever I tried to leave with my twins, and they hunted me down on a child support warrant that I didn't have the week before. I was trying to leave a bad home where I was being raped by my father-in-law.
mm,
And I went 3 hours away, had been there about 30 minutes, and they pulled in behind us at a gas station and took me to jail for a child support warrant. And that's the child support warrant that I am dealing with today, still yet on the same child who is 22 years old and has never received a dime of that child support money.
mm.
Whose child is it supporting? Because it's not mine. It's taking money
Right.
from my children.
Yeah.
But it was during that stint whenever they brought me back to Letcher County,
Yeah.
and I got into other trouble and had that fight while I was in jail.
Okay.
And that's what got me to 12 and a half years. And it destroyed my life,
Yeah.
destroyed my life.
And you were saying also, maybe in a previous interview, like you said that there would be, I don't know, like I don't know, like hotel parties or
Yeah,
parties
sex
at
parties.
houses that
Yeah,
would
some
be
places
occurring.
there's like sex dens. It looks like something out of 50 Shades of Grey, mirrored ceilings and a
Mm,
bidet in the middle of the room. Uh, Whips and chains and handcuffs and such. And then there would be other places that was just like normal, homes or a cabin or a room somewhere. And as I said, there's hundreds of victims over the years. This spans back to even the generation before the judge. Uh,
oh, okay.
so yeah,
What's the feeling in the town that obviously you're shedding so much more light and that megaphone of what occurred. Uh, i- is there a sense that since the sheriff did shoot and kill Judge Mullins of uh, I don't want to say like, oh, he deserved it, not like that, but I'm just curious of
he's our
what.
hero. Mickey Steins is our hero
Yeah.
for the
Okay.
victims. The support for him is resounding because he was so well respected, and he was one that we never had to worry was going to grope us or try to fill us up or demand something in exchange for rights, basic rights. So all like that's something that everybody agrees on, is that like he has become our hero. Whether it was intentional or not, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
like what his thinking was. I don't know anything about that, but he'll forever be my hero.
Uh, that's incredible.
And I don't
Uh,
think he deserves to be there. He doesn't deserve to be in jail.
yeah. Uh, what's been the uh, uh, what's been the feelings towards you and speaking out? Because there is, like you said, there's, a danger of that. And we have that also as an organization, as I saw, when you're talking about people human trafficking or doing things, and it brings a level of
People
safety
feel
concern.
pressure, they start to scramble and do dumb things. And yeah, they've definitely tried a few things. I've received some threats. Like I said, my daughter was arrested. Another lady that spoke out, she was scooped up and arrested on a bunch of false charges, but
Oh my.
we were able to get them all dismissed,
Oh.
and prove that, none of it was true, or that none of it was hers. Um, but then we've had the KSP like knocking on doors too, and at trying to get people to come out and speak to them without a lawyer or a parent or anybody present, an advocate of any kind present. So it's definitely been a little intimidating and nerve wracking. The last few weeks have been really intense, but for the most
Mhm.
part, though, like we have great community support. Like people
Oh,
are tired of being treated this way. Like even if you weren't one of the ones that was being trafficked, your life has still been affected by these monsters in some way or another.
yeah.
Like it touches everybody. The addiction here touches everybody, even
Mm.
the ones who aren't addicted, you know? Um, and the same goes for the court system. CPS, it doesn't discriminate.
Who's being besides yourself, who are there any people in authority now that you can turn to and trust, or is it still kind of it's
I
not
don't trust many people around here. I still have to go in and report to my parole officer every month. Like I trust him to like a certain extent because like I
okay,
know that he's not going to be unfair with me. Um, like he'll give me what I give him. So, as long as
right,
I'm doing my end, then he's not going to like retaliate. I know that. But
okay.
as far as anybody else in that courthouse or anything, I don't trust them right now. We've been trying to find lawyers
Hmm.
and things like far enough away that aren't afraid to take these people on, but are also like willing to dig in because it's so complex. There's so many layers to it.
Right, and we found that too with we've had some legal things going on ourselves with traffickers, and to find an attorney who doesn't have that conflict of interest, who doesn't know of that person or those people is so hard. So I know exactly what you're talking about. That somebody to
Yeah,
find somebody far enough away that
yeah.
doesn't
Somebody
know like
recommended that I call Mr. Pillersdorf, though. You said that he was on your show before.
yes.
Somebody just recommended that a couple days ago, so I've been thinking it over. Um, we'll
Yeah,
see.
he seemed uh just yeah, he was just down to earth. And he's just like, I'm
Yeah,
representing my clients and I have their best interests in mind, and he just came across that I mean he wasn't playing any games. He wasn't trying to play to one side or the other, just saying, hey, here's what I do, here's the types of individuals that I represent, and so that's why I wanted to mention that, at least, as I was reaching
yeah.
out to you, that whether that turns out to be helpful or not, just the fact that it's somebody that's on the side.
And he's already a little familiar with it as well, where he was already covering,
Yes,
Sabrina and,
he's in Floyd
her.
County, I think.
Yeah,
It Okay, yeah,
I
he's in
think so. I
Floyd
think
County.
so. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I thought he was in
That's a
Floyd
little
then.
bit, that's about an hour or so away from me, maybe a little bit longer. So, but
Okay.
still, like I say, it's going to have to be somebody not in the immediate area. It can't be anybody here.
Yeah. And that's so yeah, it's just so crazy that we have that in common and we're not in the same area of situations where and I never thought that would be the case. You would think like with attorneys, right, that they have ethics and all kinds of things that they
No,
but to
not
find
here.
out, it's like, oh my gosh, I have to be on the phone for hours and hours and hours to find someone. And then we just
Yeah.
found out that the attorney we have for one of our cases is actually tied in with the other side. And
Oh
so
no.
and so it's like, oh, we finally found an attorney that will support and be with us, and then to find out that he's been working with the other side for many years before any of
Yeah.
the legal things have been happening, and so we're like, oh my gosh, we just need to get we need to get this settled, and then we can potentially go after that attorney. It, of like, wait a minute, like you lied to us when
But
you
right.
said that
We're
you're
just gonna
like,
pretend to play both
yeah,
sides for a while. Like, what is that?
yeah.
That's
So it's
that's a scary thought. As a victim, that is a
mhm,
terrifying thought.
it is, and I never thought I would
Yeah,
see the day that that would happen, that somebody
yeah.
that say, and they had just got their law license uh back. It was like maybe 2 weeks before uh we got a hold of them, and we had no idea that he had his law license removed, and he literally just got it back. And so now we're seeing probably part of why that's the case. And it's a hard thing to swallow, because on one side it's like we want justice, but on the other side we want to make sure that the matter is settled before we go to that next phase. And it it just takes our minds, and it just does uh, that emotional side. How are you holding up, like your mind and your emotions and your mental health, like through all of you, what you've been through, and now what
I'm
you're
doing
doing?
okay.
Okay.
The last couple of weeks has been really triggering.
Okay.
Sometimes it's hard seeing like so many, like speaking to so many victims and hearing their stories. Sometimes it's like reliving it. Um, but it's necessary. Somebody needs to do it. Somebody needs to hear them, you know?
Yeah,
So um, I'm able to pray and I
that's great.
practice earth magic and I have my whole spiritual thing that I do. So that helps keep me grounded, keep my head clear, help me stay focused on what matters and, you
That's
know,
great.
who we're fighting for. So,
That's right. Well, we have a
yeah.
couple more minutes left, and so I want to give you the floor to share, again, your YouTube, your
I want to tell
Facebook.
y'all about Lexi's Place. We are trying to put together something. We have a Facebook group, Lexi's Place, Homes for Wayward Women.
Okay.
And we will be making it an official nonprofit. It's not yet, but it will be,
Mhm.
to give homes and build a barrier relief fund to help some of these victims like get reestablished and get back on their feet and start working on getting their kids back. Like now that some of the threat is gone, and hopefully by the time Mickey's trial is over, then they'll be able to make some more arrests and clear the rest out and get get us safe, So, but regardless, we want to be able to provide a safe place and resources. So give us a follow over there,
Yeah.
and whenever we start building and things like that, then we'll be posting, and we want to keep the public updated on what's going on too. So,
Yeah.
and like I said, for more healing content, we touch on a lot of domestic violence issues. That's a big problem here in Appalachia. Um, so, yeah, the women here have been oppressed for a very long time, and it's wonderful to see them like get back on their feet and stand up for themselves, and for these future generations. So, give us a follow, Apple Dream, and you can find our store links and everything there, and over on Facebook, Tya Adams or slash Lanu.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for spending time and
And
for doing what you're
Brandy, if
doing.
y'all want to follow Brandy, look up Brandy
Y-
Davis too. She's amazing, my co-host. You
Okay.
need to talk with her sometime.
Yeah,
She's got a
yeah.
wonderful story too that'll blow you away. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll have to message me so I can get the
yeah, I'll
right.
put you in touch with her.
Thank you. That'd be
Absolutely.
fantastic.
And if you're interested, there are a few other girls that have been like telling their story and stuff. I can pass you along to them too if you'd like to
Absolutely.
get in touch with
Absolutely.
them. Okay.
Yep. Yep. Give me, all that contact info, and we'll do that, and
Okay.
just keep.
And we're also asking for other victims who, if you've been having like anticipation about coming forward,
Mhm.
the investigators are here. We have a real investigator. They are working on it. They are working for the victims.
Oh,
Um,
good.
Hillbilly Crimes telling people that they're not, that they're only, but they are working for the victims. And I just want to reassure people on that. And his email address is cotton63@gmail.com. Somebody can email if you're a victim, reach
Okay.
out to him.
No, this is great. Yeah. Uh, yeah, and thank you for what you're doing. Fortunate what you've been through, uh and the people in your area, and I'm hoping this gets across, well, will to others in other jurisdictions, areas, that they can uh,
Yeah,
feel that it's okay to speak out and have their
the
voice be.
support. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
Well,
whole world of people out here wanting to support you and give you some love. Like they are, people have been amazing. People have been amazing. It's been overwhelming. It's so touching. The things that people say to
oh,
me daily, like it just, so that helps with the mental health part of it. That helps with the triggers and stuff too, to get the encouragement and stuff from the public that, yeah, we are doing the right thing and that it's needed. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Ty.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
if you
having me.
you bet. So yeah, so shoot those contacts to me. Love to have them on as well. I think it'd be helpful just to keep that talk going in the communities, and just let more people know that it's okay to start sharing, if they would like to do so, and if they do, then yeah, we'd love to have them on. So thank you again, Taya, for joining us, and we hope you have a good rest of your day. And
You too.
thank you for the viewers and listeners. Thank you for watching and listening to over 360 episodes of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. And until next time, please be a voice for you or somebody in need. We'll see you next time.